listened to the audio very carefully, and you have now understood the poem Refugee, Mother and Child. Now let me go very briefly through the questions, because I think the poem should be very clear to you by now. Let me go through the questions. First is why this is the child that the mother would soon have to forget. So I hope you know the answer to this. So why would the mother soon have to forget that child? Because the child is very much near death, and the child is going to die very soon. So the mother will lose that child, LOSC, will lose that child very soon, and she will have to forget him. Next is, what is the political and economic background referred to in this poem? So what the question is about is which country is being referred to in this poem. So as we have discussed this earlier also, he is not referring to any particular country. So you may write that this might be any country in Africa. Okay, so the background is left vague by the poet. So this might be any country where the common people are not adequately cared for, where they have to leave their homes, जिथे उन्होंने अपने घर छड़ने पैंदे हैं because of the indifference of the government, क्योंकि सरकार इतनी परवाह नहीं करती, and they have to leave their homes, and even in those refugee camps they are not looked after properly. So the economic background also, the country seems to be a poor one, where even the basic facilities are not available in the refugee camp. So it might be any country where the people are suffering from some natural calamity, or they have been dislocated because of some political reason. Maybe the atmosphere was such that they felt like victims and they had to leave their homes. Next is, who is Madonna? So the Madonna is Mother Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. Next is, why is the air described as heavy with odors? So the odor is a smell. It's an unpleasant smell. So the air is heavy with odors because the not proper cleanliness is maintained in that refugee camp. Because many people live there in a small space, so it is so the camp lacks in basic facilities. Maybe running water is not there, so the cleanliness of the place is not being maintained. That is why it is heavy with smells. The air is heavy with smells, with unpleasant smells. Explain washed out ribs and dried up bottoms. So this we did very elaborately in the poem also. Washed out ribs and dried up bottoms means ribs are the pasliyan. So the ribs are not covered with flesh. They are very much visible. Pasliyan dikh rahi hain, and even the bottoms, the hips are dried up. There is no flesh on the hips also. So because of a lack of proper food. Can you think of one reason? Next question. Can you think of one reason why some mothers had ceased to care in this situation? So they had stopped caring about their children. Okay. So can you guess why they had done so? So this may be because they had seen so much of tragedy. The mothers had seen so many deaths that they were themselves very much near death. They were almost dead themselves. So they had stopped caring for their children because they knew that their children would die very soon. As almost all of them were very much sick. So they knew that their children were going to die very soon. So they had ceased to care. Next is, why is the little act of combing the child's here of special significance in this situation. So otherwise, a mother combing the hair of her child, ਜਦੋਂ ਮਾਂ ਕੰਘੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ ਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, sometimes we may have witnessed a mother combing the hair of her child and we would not have paid much attention to it. ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਦਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੰਘੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਵੈਰੀ ਆਰਡੀਨਰੀ ਐਕਟ, ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਵੈਰੀ ਆਰਡੀਨਰੀ, ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਕੁਛ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. ਪਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੀ ਹੈ, this little act again means unimportant act, that the mother is combing the hair of her child. We do not even look twice when we see a mother combing the hair of her child. ਅਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਮੁੜ ਕੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਦੇਖਦੇ because it is something very ordinary. ਪਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੈਗਾ? Why is it significant in this situation? Why? Because the child is very much near death. Still the mother is taking great care while combing the hair. ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੂਰਾ ਸਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਉਹ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅਲੱਗ ਜਿਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ. The child may die the next minute. The child is so much near death, but still she is trying to comb the hair of the child. Next is, why does even the smile of the mother take on a ghost appearance? Now ghost का मतलब ही की ਹੁੰਦਾ भूत, आत्मा, spirit. So ghost appearance का मतलब, ghost of a smile का मतलब की हैगा कि almost बहुत छोटी जी smile कि दिखदी नहीं है. Ghost smile का ये मतलब है. So why does even the smile of the mother take on a ghost appearance? Because she is very much near death. Even the child is very much near death, and though she still loves her child very much, she still smiles when she looks at the child, but the smile is very slight. It is a very little smile. Why? Because of the tragedy of the situation, because she knows that the child may die very soon. So इस करके ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੁਸਕਰਾਹਟ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਹਲਕੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕੋਈ ਮੁਸਕਰਾਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ. Next is bring out the intensity of the last two lines of the poem in relation to what has gone before. So the last two lines are, now she did it like putting flowers on a tiny grave. So the last lines are very tragic because she is almost sure that the child is going to die very soon. So ਜਿਹੜਾ even ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਰਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ, ਬਾਲਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਰੇਂਜ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਤਰੀਕਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, just as if she is offering flowers on the grave of the child. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਕਬਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਚੜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਫੁੱਲ ਚੜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ. So this refers to the imminent death of the child, ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੌਤ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਹੈ. So that is why the last lines are very tragic. So bring out the, and when God sent him to this world, he knew that his son would die a very tragic death. So ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਸੀ, ਭਗਵਾਨ ਨੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਲੜਕੇ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਭੇਜਿਆ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਭੇਜਿਆ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪਾਪ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵੱਧ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ. So Bible says this. So ਮੈਡੋਨਾ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੇਟਾ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ, because Jesus Christ also died a very tragic death. In the same way, this mother is also going to lose the child. So next is describe the scene of illness and misery in the poem. So misery ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਵੀ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਤਕਲੀਫ. So illness and misery. So the whole of the poem can come here. ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਬੱਚੇ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈ ਉੱਥੇ. Then the air is heavy with odors, and